The following broadcast is a production of HCC TV.
Hi, I'm Justin Boyd.
Hi, I'm George Luna.
I'm Brittany Pacheco.
And I'm Frank Cooper.
And we are
The Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to the Watchers in the Basement. We are here in the Main Street Studios here in Houston, Texas, and we're back. It's been a couple weeks since we've done an episode, and our last few episodes we did the phases of the MCU. We did Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. Now we're talking about the final movie of Phase 3. It's Spider-Man Far From Home. The movie just came out. It was released July 2nd of this year. It's a co-project between Sony Pictures and Marvel. Sony owns the movie rights to Spider-Man. Spider-Man's obviously a Marvel character. The way I look at it is Sony gets to put their name on a good movie, basically. That's Marvel makes the good movies. Sony gets to put his name on it, so good for you, Sony.
Yay for Sony.
Yeah. Like I said, the movie came out just a few weeks ago and had a budget of $160 million. It's already grossed $850 million worldwide.
Good.
Wow.
So clearly no superhero fatigue just yet.
No. And clearly they're on their way to another billion-dollar superhero movie here. It's directed by John Watts, who also did Spider-Man Homecoming, which was also a very good movie. We had it ranked pretty high on our list last time. It stars Tom Holland. He's back again as Spider-Man. Peter Parker. Samuel L. Jackson plays a big part in this movie.
Does he?
As Nick
Does
Fury.
he?
Maybe he's Nick Fury. Jake Gyllenhaal is in this movie. He plays Quentin Beck / Mysterio.
It's a good name.
Yeah. Marissa Tomei's back as Aunt May.
Hot Aunt May.
John Favreau, speaking of Hot Aunt May, Happy Hogan is hot after her. John Favreau's Happy Hogan.
Yep.
Zendaya? Or
Zendaya.
Zendaya plays
I had
MJ.
so
Close
much
enough.
hope for you.
I know, you've been trying to tell me for weeks how to say it. I can't get it.
Anyway.
Jacob Talon is Peter's friend Ned Leeds, and then Colby Smulders is back as Maria Hill. Or is she?
Or is she?
Maybe she's not also.
Who knows?
So, guys, let's just get right down to it. The movie, it opens with a scene that actually, the Avengers re-release had this same scene at the very end. There was a teaser for Spider-Man. The first few minutes of the Spider-Man movie was the end of this Avengers movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the movie opens up, we're in Mexico. Maria Hill and Nick Fury are chasing some kind of beast of some sort. Turns out it's an elemental. It's the Earth Elemental. They
Yeah.
get to this destroyed town in Mexico, and the elemental pops out of the ground. It's like a sand monster, kind of. All of a sudden, Mysterio comes flying in. We don't know he's Mysterio yet. And he's there to save the day, and or so we think.
So we think.
Yeah, and so then the movie. So then after that, we get to we see Marvel Studios. We hear a famous song from Whitney Houston. Brittany, would you like to sing it for us?
Love to, Justin.
Okay.
Get ready do you have tissues? And I will always love you. Ooh. That's all I got.
That's really good. That's very good.
Very good.
So the movie opens with that famous song from The Bodyguard back in the day.
Frank! My mom knows what I'm talking about.
And when that song, the first time I saw the movie, I've seen the movie a few times. The first time that song hit, I was like, where are they going with this? I knew it was some kind of comedy bit. Then they open with it in memoriam, kind of like, it's like these high school kids put together this PowerPoint presentation showing Tony Stark, R.I.P. to Tony Stark, R.I.P. to Captain
I was
America.
very
Everybody.
disturbed
Vision.
by the resolution quality. Like as a
Yeah.
graphic designer,
But that was on
watching
purpose,
this,
though.
right? I didn't
Yeah.
realize that, of course, until
Yeah.
you saw that it was like the high school newscast, and it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, this makes a lot of sense now because the candles had the watermark from a stock photo.
It was Getty Images.
It was Getty Images,
Yeah,
and
Which
I'm
we're,
like, okay,
we're familiar
We're
with.
very familiar with Getty.
So did Cap die already? Like in Endgame, he was getting really old, so I'm guessing he died in between after that.
I don't think he died.
I don't think.
I think
they would've
I
mentioned
think
if he did.
that
So he
people-
died somewhere between that time and.
No, I
this
think the
movie.
rest of the world just doesn't understand that he's.
He's gone.
They
I mean,
think
they know he's
just
gone.
Yeah.
They don't understand that he came back as an old man,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
or that he lived his life. I think that's because
Yeah.
what I understand is the movie Spider-Man: Far From Home is basically 8 months after Endgame, from what
Okay.
I've read and from what I've seen in the movie.
But still,
So-
5 years after Infinity War.
Yes, well, So yeah,
No.
so we're still in 2023 or 2024, whatever the year is.
Yeah, it's Infinity
Yeah, we're
War.
in the
Right.
future,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still the 5 years, and
Oh, you said Infinity War.
Yeah.
actually, Far From Home does a really good job. Like the first 5 minutes of the movie, they explain what happened in the snap. Like basically,
Yeah.
But it's not the snap.
well, the snap was when Thanos snapped everybody with Infinity War. In Spider-Man: Far From Home, they're calling it the blip. That's when everyone came back 5 years later, and they explained that like one kid says, like my little brother is now older than me. He's like, that's weird. He's like, it's just math.
Without, remember our Endgame breakdown? That was my only concern, like how they're gonna explain the 5-year gap
Right.
Okay.
of people who who survived post snap,
Yeah.
and people who vanished post snap.
Right.
So I'm glad they brought it to the forefront and explained that because, like, and one of the main storylines was one of the kids / adversaries that Peter was against. He was a guy who aged and matured over time.
Yeah, he was a kid that was 5 years younger than everybody, and then he actually
Well,
went
he
up
was
5
their
years.
age.
Yeah, he was their age,
Yeah,
but
so
he
let's say
did
like 15, 16.
So he was in the first movie?
No,
No,
he wasn't in the first movie, but they talk about how he's one of
Yeah, I
the kids
figured
from
that.
Newtown
I was
High
like,
School.
wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
the
he
age
wasn't a
over
part
time.
of the snap, so he aged.
Yeah,
5 more
I figured
years.
that. I just didn't know if they showed
Yeah.
him in the first movie
No,
or
no, no,
something.
no. There's-
It was a
there-
character I
there's-
missed or something.
No,
Yeah.
they're just talking about the fact that he was in the beginning of the movie because they showed the comparison photos
Yeah,
of what he looked
okay.
like before and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
now. So.
Yeah.
The character's name is Brad, and he's kind of he's after MJ also in this
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
just like Peter is. So.
But what I don't understand is that the kids that survive post snap, why not just go on with life and just finish high school? Why do they have to stay?
How could they if, let's say, half the admin or teachers or whatever, they couldn't teach them, you know what I mean?
So for 5 years, school just ceased. That's my point. Like,
No, those kids kept going. The people who weren't involved in the snap, they kept aging and going through school and everything.
so how's Brad still in high school then?
Well, he was 5 years younger than them. Like he was like
he wasn't the same grade as them.
When
Okay,
they
he
were
was
in
5
sixth grade, he was in first grade.
That's okay.
And so
okay, I
now
see
he's
what
on
you're
the
saying.
same level as them.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I was saying, how did they?
Yeah.
I thought he was the same age as those
No,
guys.
I thought
okay.
he was too.
No, he wasn't. No.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
okay.
All right.
That explains everything.
Yeah.
All right.
And so,
That's
but
fine.
then they explained that even though they were almost halfway through the semester, they have to start the semester over whenever the snap happened.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
anyway, we kind of can jumble that up a little bit, but the movie does a good job of explaining like the blip and how people were brought back, and now that we're all just moving on. The snap is over, Thanos is gone, and all that good stuff. So, so Frank, what were your takes on the movie? Like,
I miss her hot. Like she is bad. Like Marissa Tomei, man. Like she beats Aunt May from the first Spider-Man series, like by far. Also by like 40 years, but
definite-
No way.
by far.
Who's the second Aunt May in the Andrew
Sally
Garfield one?
Sally
Field.
Field was Sally Field.
Now, 25 years ago, Sally Field, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the movie was awesome. Again, I'm not hard to please when it comes to Spider-Man because I'm one of those people. I get so tired of origin stories, especially origin stories that are explained over and over again every reboot. So for them to actually just further the story and like just have other storylines that hasn't been revisited.
Right.
Like Mysterio is a fresh new villain that wasn't revisited in the previous Spider-Man movies, and so like I appreciate that element and how they really. This Spider-Man incarnation, they really have Spider-Man entrenched in the Marvel Universe. Like you see other characters like Iron Man, like Captain America. So like seeing him really entrenched in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is really awesome because he was such a singular character in the previous series. So seeing that was pretty cool. And I just love the writing. Like I think Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man thus far. I'm not.
Yeah,
I thought.
he is.
And I thought I was being a prisoner in the moment, but he fits. He fits what Spider-Man looks like. Young teenager,
Yeah.
geeky, but still has a little bit of swag at the same time. Like, funny, very witty. I was very impressed with the movie altogether. That's just with Spider-Man. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job as Mysterio. Being a comic book nerd, I was kind of confused by the previews because I'm like, how's Mysterio a hero? He was never a hero, but like. To give me the okie doke of the movie, how he the massive illusion, how he really used his illusion
Right.
Technology.
to really dupe everybody. I thought it was a very smart movie as well.
Yeah. And in the comics, I did a little bit of research because I didn't know much about Mysterio. I knew he was a bad guy, obviously, but I didn't know much about him. So in the comics, he's a stuntman and also just like an illusionist or whatever. That's his kind of his occupation or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
And so in the MCU movie, what they decided to do is they made him a disgruntled employee of Tony
Yeah.
Stark,
Right.
of Stark Industries, and so he's actually the one who created the. It's called
Barf.
the acronym.
Barf.
It's Barf.
Barf,
Whatever that is in Civil War, where you can the illusions or whatever.
Right. It's like Tony's technology for therapy or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and so basically he's upset with Tony because he thinks Tony took the credit for it or changed it or whatever he did.
I mean,
Yeah,
And then
and
just
so
scrapped
Which is awesome. Like the callbacks to Civil War and callbacks to
tie in everything.
Yeah, to tie in everything was just seamless writing.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a background of like of how he came to pass and how him and Tony had a falling out. Which this is a great movie.
And not just Quentin Beck, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, but other people in his camp who all were employees of Tony Stark.
yeah,
The first, in calling back to the first Iron Man movie with Odie, I couldn't think of his name,
Yeah.
yelling
Obadiah.
at Obadiah,
The
yelling at the
scientist.
scientist. You know, that same scientist from around the arc reactor is part of Quentin Beck's plan. You know, and he kind of manages, you know, the drones and the illusion technology and what have you. And I think even towards the end, even though there's, and I'm not going to jump to the mid-credit scene just yet, but like he was the one who basically revealed that information.
Right.
But I think he might have a bigger role to play in upcoming, films. I don't know how, but I'm
Mysterio?
No, I'm talking
The
about the
scientist.
scientist.
Oh, the scientist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
for
I
sure.
got you.
yeah, because that technology, I mean, it's going to be used. I assume again, and I'm not even sure that Mysterio is even dead. You know, a man who can trick everyone, can fool the entire world. I mean, let's
Yeah,
say
because
can fool Peter Parker one more
Marvel's
time.
already done.
Why didn't they just shoot him, man? Like, they have him there. He caused all this trouble. Like, you
Yeah.
have him there. Let's make sure.
Superheroes besides Deadpool don't shoot people though.
That's why we need Deadpool.
I mean, Deadpool. I mean, he would have made the movie better. I love the movie, but I
Yeah.
mean, that would have
But
been awesome.
Marvel has already done this thing where we introduce a villain, and that was Killmonger and Black Panther,
Yeah.
and then they killed him off in the same movie.
Well,
so like
then
to,
he better still be alive
do
too.
it
'Cause if Mysterio's gone, then I'll be so upset. Like that. No.
No, but let's compare Killmonger and Quentin Beck.
Okay.
They both had motives, obviously, and it was kind of that of revenge, if you will.
No, one had a better motive.
One had a better motive.
Killmonger was
Way better motive.
Killmonger was way better.
The
No,
other
Killmonger-
I agree 100%. I'm
Mysterio was
just
just like a petty employee, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was just. All of them were. They
But
were super petty.
He wanted to be. He wanted to be famous because he was this. Like he talks about, he was the smartest guy in the room, but because he wasn't wearing a cape, he wasn't respected.
right.
So because Tony was wearing the pseudo armor and flying around and being this like super popular superhero,
Yeah.
he was reaping the limelight of the stuff that basically I guess Quentin Beck created. A lot of the stuff
Right.
that he created. So.
Right.
You know.
But then also with Quentin, he kept this as he was dying. He said that people need to believe, or they see what they believe, or something along those lines. And then we can jump to the mid credit where Mysterio, before his last breath, reveals that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's piecing footage together of the last encounter between Mysterio and Spider-Man, and it looks like it's Spider-Man who's controlling the drones to destroy everything. So now Mysterio's last motive is to make it seem that Spider-Man is actually the enemy. He's not, this
Right.
Avenger who ultimately is going to take place of Tony Stark.
Right.
But seriously, like, who would you believe? Like, he's playing all this stuff. Mysterio plays that video, whatever. He just came out, man. No one knows who this dude is. Why would you believe him when Spider-Man literally helped save the world?
But
I
that
think-
shows the power of media.
Well,
that's
people
propaganda,
see,
man.
Yeah, I
I
know.
think we
but
need to do a little
still.
bit of backstory. So whenever Mysterio arrives on the scene, this is after Endgame, and the Avengers are kind of disbanded. People
Yeah.
don't really know where they are,
Right.
and so Mysterio, through his technology and using drones and the illusion stuff,
Yeah.
he creates these elemental
Creatures or whatever.
creatures that
Earth, air, fire, water.
Right. You have the one in the water that destroy.
Venice.
Peter and his classmates, the Midtown High School science
Science
school or
class,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, they go on a European vacation, and basically these elementals pop up wherever they are and cause havoc.
Coincidentally.
If I was in that class, man, I would be like, wow, everything
Yeah.
just terrible keeps happening. Like,
We go to
I'm
Washington,
never, I would
DC,
never
yeah.
travel again.
Right.
It's like Final Destination.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just makes a good point though, of why media is so big. Like in the year or 3 months, whatever after Endgame, Mysterio is masquerading as this hero, saving Mexico, saving Paris, or saving wherever they were. Venice. You know, and like, so people are seeing this like, oh my God, like with him having Spider-Man, he's this hero that we need right now with the Avengers being disbanded. So like, people see that and like also it's attrition in their minds like, oh my God, why would Spider-Man kill this guy that saved the Earth 2 or 3 times over already?
Right.
So that plays a huge part.
And that's what goes
in the
back
heel turn for Spider-Man, well, the quote unquote heel turn.
But that's what I'm saying. Like as Mysterio or Quentin Beck was dying, you know, he says that people need to see to believe, or believe to see, or something along those lines. I can't remember the quote.
He acknowledges, he's like, you know, his backstory, which, you know, he tells Peter, he tells Nick Fury that he's from this other planet. Like they set up this like the multiverse is real, and I think the multiverse is real in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but in this movie it really isn't. Like there's a guy.
Excited for a second too. When I heard
Right?
that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
So basically, Mysterio has this team of people who are all these disgruntled former employees from Stark Industries who have helped create this superhero. He has a tech guy who controls the drones. He has this seamstress who's like working on his cape and his suit, make sure it looks, you know.
He's got a writer.
He's got a writer who creates a storyline that he's Quentin Beck from this like Earth, whatever it is.
C1 something.
And his planet was destroyed by these elementals, and so he's chasing these things over to our planet to save our planet. He's this great hero, and you know he's lost his family, and it has this really great story.
Yeah.
And Peter gets wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
And Peter almost sees him as like the next. You know, Iron Man's gone. Iron Man's dead in this movie, and we see a lot of stuff about Iron Man. And Peter definitely misses Iron Man because that's his mentor.
Right.
And he sees this guy come flying in and save the world, and he thinks, oh, this could be the next. He could be the next Iron Man because everyone's telling Peter that he should be the next Iron Man. He's like, I'm just a kid. Like I'm a kid. I'm the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm handling neighborhood stuff.
Right.
You know, and so he comes in and. Mysterio is like this perfect guy for him, and he thinks this is the person who should be the next Iron Man, not me. Because early in the movie, Nick Fury gives Peter some glasses from Tony Stark, and they're these fancy, you know, the glasses you see Tony wear in the movies, and they basically you wear these glasses, these high tech glasses, and you have control of all of Stark's toys from, you know, satellites in space and drones and weapons. And basically, it's like the whole Iron Man arsenal is at your dispense with these glasses.
Right.
And the glasses have a great acronym. They're
Edith, right?
Edith. They're called Edith, which stands for Even Dead, I'm the Hero. Which Tony Stark is just awesome. That's an awesome. Yeah.
It's apropos. Like, it just totally is.
So in the movie, like, he has the glasses, but it's too big of a mantle for Peter to take on.
So he feels,
so once he sees Mysterio saving the world, this great hero, he thinks this is the guy who should have these glasses. He should have
minutes.
This is the problem I had with this movie, man. Like, why would Tony give him something so powerful and just let him give it to anyone?
Well, Tony didn't think that he would give it to anyone.
Yeah.
That was Peter's interpretation.
Yeah. Because Peter's
Still,
a kid.
He should have put a safeguard or something. He is a kid. That's the point. If like, hey, this is only for you, and it's only gonna work with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That was a huge. I was like, what? Why would you give it to a random stranger you just met, literally?
Yeah.
And so I know the story and everything, that he just wanted to be a normal kid, enjoy his trip, and do everything. But still, like, that's insane.
It is. But
But think about what he's been through he's what, 17 in the movie? 17?
I think 16.
16?
Yeah.
So in 2 years,
he's been through a lot.
He's fought alongside Tony Stark in Civil War. He fought alongside the Avengers in Infinity War.
He's been
died.
in space. As Nick
He's
Fury
been in
says.
space. Came back from the dead. Lost his mentor.
Yep.
It's all in 2 years. So so this could be very over. And this, as a 34-year-old man, I'm like, this is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Imagine being 16 and going through all of that. So I can understand him saying, you know what, this is too much for me. My mentor's gone. I can't handle this right now. I've been through way too much the last couple of years to just take on this mantle.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, cool, keep the glasses for a while. Don't give it to someone you just met.
Right.
Like, all right, let me take some time. I'll do this myself. I don't have to wear these
I mean,
right now.
he did. I mean, he did wear the glasses, and then he wanted to retrieve this really unflattering photo. You know that what's Brad's name?
Brad.
You know,
Yeah.
Who's
Brad,
the kid who ages up.
Right.
Yeah.
So Brad, took this very unflattering photo, trying to basically show MJ, because Peter's, love interest, Brad's as well, that, oh, well, Peter was trying to hook up with this older woman and his pants is down, and, it's
Which was not the case, but
which
yeah.
is not good. But anyway, So, while using this technology, the glasses Edith, he locks into Stark, stuff. And basically, he sends a drone to kill Brad. So
By mistake.
By
On
mistake.
accident, yeah.
But, he did try. He's like, I'm not ready for this. I'm just not. So, long story short, I mean, like, he did try it. And when he tried to make it better, he still screwed up again.
Well, it's gonna be practice. Like,
But I think
He practiced by accidentally trying to kill someone. Really?
He should
Really?
take some time to
Okay.
try and learn what it's capable of.
But I think it's a combination of, like Brittany was saying, it's a combination of having so much power at one time, losing your mentor, and then seeing this guy save the world twice, basically. So like the combination of all of that, it was like the perfect storm of like, you know what, this is too much for me. This guy here is way more suited than I am. He saved the world, after the brink of extinction. Extinction. Why not give him this power? He deserves it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. What I'm about to say comes from the very first Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yep. Yeah. That's
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uncle
Peter,
Ben.
right? So Peter just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact is, he just wants to go on his class trip
Yeah.
and tell the girl that he likes that he likes her. That's,
And
that's
kiss her
all.
at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
That's all he wants to do.
Yeah.
And he clearly is not
wants to
ready
be
to be the
normal.
next Iron Man. He's not.
Right.
And as Happy Hogan tells him later, he's like, no one can be the next Iron Man. Iron Man couldn't even be Iron Man. Even Tony questioned everything he did. Like, so,
Yeah.
like, you just do the best you can.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Which was sound advice too.
Oh, yeah.
Like Happy
Absolutely.
Hogan, he came in with the nuggets,
Yes.
man,
Right.
in this movie.
For
Like
sure.
I was inspired. Like, man,
Yeah.
even I can be the next Frank Cooper, man. I'm gonna do what I can to be the best I can be. Like, it was inspiring. It really was.
To me, this is where it really shows how great of an actor Jake Gyllenhaal is, because the scene where he gets the glasses from Peter, they're in a bar. It's after they've
Which I
they've had
thought was
this.
so odd.
It is kind of odd, but I mean, it's like he's trying to be his buddy. Like you can
Right.
tell, like he's like, even after they defeat this, they defeat the fire elemental, which apparently is the worst elemental of all. They defeat it, save the world.
Peter, by the way, was not Spider-Man though, but Night Monkey.
He was Night Monkey. He wears
Night Monkey.
because he's in Europe. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to.
His classmates to know that
right? That he's
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
he's Spider-Man because he's always dipping, and then
Right.
he's
Bad stuff happens.
bad stuff happens.
So he has an all-black stealth suit that he ends up being nicknamed Night Monkey.
I'm very disappointed in from this standpoint. Like Midtown High School is a science like
Yeah.
They're smart
program,
kids, right?
They're
Yeah.
smart
Yeah.
kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is MJ the only person from Midtown High School to figure out? Okay, every time we go somewhere,
Yeah.
Peter Parker disappears, and Spider-Man shows up.
Thought the same
She's the
thing.
only smart one at it. That's
because she's
Yeah.
watching him.
Thought the same thing.
but still.
No one else is watching Peter.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in a random country, two random countries away from the U.S. where Spider-Man is based in, and then Peter Parker disappears, and this guy shows up.
Yep.
Twice.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the
come on.
fact that this is the world where space, enemies, invaders come to Earth all the freaking time.
Right.
Like, why would that be like?
I'm like, what are
It's-
the chances going to happen to
But
you
what are
every
the
time you
chances-
go
every
to
single
the
time?
set?
But what are the chances every single
That's the
time?
point.
Though?
I don't know.
That's what I
I'm like, wait a
understand.
minute, hey, where is this guy?
Yeah. Now, if Spider-Man showed up in Croatia or in Beijing, fighting crime, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Maybe Spider-Man has a teleportation device. There we go.
Right.
Then I'll get that. But come on, he's never fought any.
Spider-Man likes to travel. He's just a regular guy.
Travel
he likes
United,
to travel.
right?
Travel United, exactly.
I guess. Yeah.
It's us.
Please.
The thing of Mysterio though, they defeat this monster, and then Mysterio is like, he's like, hey, let's get a drink or whatever, and
He's like, I'm not old enough.
right away Peter's like, I'm not old enough,
And
so
then
whatever.
did no one at the bar was like I know they were later
Right,
on you
right,
figure
right,
out,
right.
but
Right.
did Peter not think of hey, this dude's in his
outfit.
His
His
outfit.
His
Well,
and
but-
I'm still in the outfit too.
But George, Peter thinks he's from another world, another planet,
Right.
like another Earth. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
his just.
That could
his
be the
color.
norm.
But
Yeah.
but there was also a festival going on at the same time, so maybe
Yeah.
they thought that this was part
The
of the
weirdo,
festival.
yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, they're dressed literally they just saw him on the TV.
You know what?
Yeah.
You and I, we've been to Europe, okay? They do different. They do weird things in
Yeah.
Europe, okay?
Europe.
Like,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
just
Justin,
dressed like
you
a
need to go.
superhero when I go to Europe. Then
yes.
I was kind of disappointed that I was really hoping that was the storyline. That was the real storyline, the multiverse of him coming.
Yeah.
that would have
Yeah,
been cool.
that would've
Yeah, that would have been so
That
because
would've
that
been
would have
so cool.
introduced so many other characters for the
Yeah.
future, like X-Men and Fantastic Four. I mean, it could
They
still
will.
happen.
They
yeah.
will. In
Yeah,
time,
I just
yeah.
I just wonder how they're going to do it now with that not being the actual storyline.
Wait, so they're not in the same timeline?
No, they're the same
X-Men, all
timeline,
that?
but I'm
Then
saying
what are you
that-
talking about?
Yeah, the timeline that Mysterio used was saying that I came from a different Earth to follow the elementals.
No.
To this
I'm talking about
time.
like you're talking about X-Men, Fantastic Four, all that. They're not in the same universe that everyone's in right now.
Well, so here's my question: like, if it's the same universe, how are they gonna explain where the X-Men and Fantastic Four have been at the last 10 years?
I see what you mean.
With Infinity War, with Civil War, with the Avengers 1, like,
Okay.
you're supposed to be y'all these superpowered mutants heroes. Where have you guys been? So I
We'll
was
figure out
saying,
something.
yeah, I was saying it would have made sense had it been
They're
a
defending their
multiverse.
local neighborhoods.
Oh my god.
Well, they did that in like the Defenders, right? Didn't they kind of tie back to
Yeah, they
what
did.
was happening and what was going on?
But the Defenders are smaller scale heroes.
Yeah.
They're not like they're not.
I mean,
they're
if
not
they
Thor,
if they
you
can
know?
tie it into something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I feel like
I don't
y'all
know, we'll
should just
see.
sit together now because I'm like going back and forth. Like,
So we get to the bar scene, and in the bar, basically, Mysterio is basically like, hey, like he's being Peter's buddy. He's like, Peter, what do you want to do with your life? He's like, everybody's telling you to be the next Iron Man. Like, what do you want? He's like, I just want to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower and tell the girl that I like her, and kiss her, and enjoy my class trip and be a kid. And then so Mysterio's like, well, then you do that. And then Peter goes, you're right, I should do that. And you know what? Like those glasses that Tony gave me that have the note that say for the next Iron Man, he didn't mean it to be me, Peter Parker. He meant it for me to find the next Iron Man, and it's you, Mysterio.
Oh God.
You're the next Iron Man. And Mysterio does a great job. He's like, no, I don't want that. Don't give me that.
No.
You know he wants that. That's the
oh,
whole
yeah.
thing. He wants
Yeah.
that tech,
Yeah,
right?
you know that for sure.
And he plays it off so well, and then eventually Peter's like, no, he's like, you got to have it. And then so he puts on the Edith glasses and says, Edith, like,
Transfer.
yeah, transfer to Quentin Beck. He gives the keys.
Access denied. It should have said that. It should have like no.
No, you're
Like,
right though,
these
'cause,
glasses
like,
will self-destruct.
well,
Just for him.
what's his real name, Quentin Beck? Like when he worked at Stark Industries, or is that just his made-up name? We don't know that.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
But anyway, so he gives him the glasses. He puts them on, and like he kind of does look like
Yo,
Tony
he
Stark.
did. I thought that too. I
Jake
was like,
Gyllenhaal
oh,
with
that's
those glasses
creepy.
kind of looks like Robert Downey
That's
Jr. a little
creepy.
bit, and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, they did a really good job with the beard and everything.
Yeah,
It's,
that
like,
was creepy.
pretty good.
If you show up next show with those kind of glasses,
I would
Do
wear
it.
them. I would wear them.
We should
I
give him
mean,
some.
if I had power to, like, I can send like bombs to get rid of certain people
stop
I
it.
don't like.
I need you to
God.
stop talking. He's joking.
Hey.
He's joking. He's
Hey,
joking.
Christmas is halfway. Christmas is not far away. If someone wants to give me the Edith glasses, please do.
Oh my God! Please don't.
Please do. You can follow us on social media. I'll DM you. If you want a shirt, I'll trade a shirt for all of our shirts for that.
Oh
in
my
fact.
God.
God.
Anyway, so back to the movie. But so he gets the glasses.
We're gonna need a new
And-
host. Sorry.
If I get those glasses, yeah. You're gonna need a whole new planet because I'm gonna.
Gosh.
I'll be the supervillain who just takes over, like flat out.
He's gonna go ham, y'all.
I'm letting you know. If I get superpowers or those kind of glasses, it's over, world.
Well-
It's over.
What's your superhero name gonna be? Typo King?
I don't. That's fine.
Type
It
of
won't
shit.
matter. I'm gonna obliterate everything. Thanos had it half right. You know what I mean?
Back to the movie.
Yeah. So he gets the glasses and they part ways, and Peter's like, "Hey, Mysterio, like you can do this. You can save the world." And he's like, "Yeah, Peter." He's like, "Go have fun on your trip." Peter walks out. All of a sudden, the illusion of the bar goes away. It's all the people that Stark Industry people that were.
And Quentin just breaks character.
He breaks character. He gets in the bar, gives this great speech about how like he toasts Tony for being a terrible boss, and about how like now they're gonna create the greatest Avenger ever, and this is how he's gonna become famous because as he says, he's like, my story is just crazy enough for people to believe. It's like what people want to believe now. People will believe anything right now, which is kind of apropos for what's going on in this country.
Oh, man.
And it's perfect. He's like, it was a crazy story, but it's just enough for where it's what people wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
then we're off. Like we've got this new supposed hero, and then Peter Parker is now with his classmates. And
So the question I had was like, how did Mysterio know that Peter was going to be the one to get the glasses?
that's a good question.
Like, and they were planning this since Civil War. How do they know he'd be alive? He died. Like how did they know? And he came back to life. I don't know. It's just like a lot of.
Let's consider the fact that at the very beginning of the movie, it's Nick Fury and Maria Hill that go to Mexico, like Justin said, and
Supposedly.
that's when they encounter Mysterio, right? So maybe that was the plan in general, is get in contact with Nick Fury. Nick Fury's
Do
going
you
to put him in
think it
contact
was?
with the Avengers.
If it would have been
Yes.
the real Nick Fury, do you think he would have known?
Okay, so that's a really good point.
That's a good point.
But I feel like we need to talk a little bit more about, because we keep saying the real Nick Fury. So the post-credit scene, we see Nick Fury and Maria transform into the Skrulls.
Yeah.
From Captain Marvel.
From Captain
They're
Marvel.
Talos and Soren, who's his
Right.
wife, the wife of Talos. Talos was the main scroll in the
Yeah.
movie, played
They
by
haven't
Ben
aged at
Mendelsohn.
all. Since that's been 20-something years since.
Well,
Captain
they're
Marvel.
aliens.
They're
Oh,
aliens.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Area 51 guys. Anyway,
The
so,
storm.
So Talos, calls Nick Fury on the phone, and it first appears that Nick is on vacation, which is
Like in Tahiti or
like
something.
some
Yeah, on a beach.
real
Beautiful beach. or
beautiful
something.
beach.
It's actually.
And he's like having a drink and what have you, and then he gets up and what have you, and then he's walking away. The image of this paradise vanishes, and he's on a spaceship with all these other Skrulls. So it leaves that question of, has Nick Fury always been a part of these, the cinematic universe, or has it been Skrull Nick Fury?
Right.
So now going back to your original question about
Yeah.
Mysterio with Nick Fury, had it been the real Nick Fury, would he have known all of this, like
Yeah.
Mysterio's
Like
plan?
he'd be
and-
like, "You're who?"
Right.
Like he knows he's kind of keeping tabs on a lot of people, right? Like
Right.
that's
Would he had known? Because like,
He was like the ultimate spy.
but when it comes to intergalactic threats and multiverse threats, he know about Captain Marvel. He didn't know back when he was just an agent. He didn't
yeah,
know.
but he was just starting exactly. But after that,
Right.
from then on, you don't think he would have he's been through so many things.
Mm-hmm.
The first Avengers. I don't even want to name every movie we
Right.
reviewed.
Right.
But even in Infinity War, in the post credits in Infinity War, he didn't know who Thanos even was
Yeah.
That's true.
until Corvus Clave and those guys resurfed. He knows everything. I mean, he knows a lot of things, but everything.
But I don't think he would know. But I think he's just like so skeptical. He wouldn't see this guy as a hero. Like he would still be asking questions. He'd still try to confirm this.
Okay. The Ultimate Spy didn't know Hydra was even infiltrating
Shield.
SHIELD for the last 45, 50 years.
That's fair.
So again, yes, he knows a lot,
He's
but
human.
but
He's
there's
human.
still
Well,
things
so
that he
thick.
doesn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Winter Soldier, Howard Stark being killed by Winter Soldier, all
Yeah.
these different things that were just unbeknownst to Nick Fury, the Ultimate Spy.
True.
So
So I do want to read something really quick that I read online about this final post-credit scene, and Frank, maybe you could talk a little bit more about
Sure.
this. So it says that the scene verifies a theory that was introduced in Captain Marvel about the Skrulls and Nick Fury. Talos serving as sort of like this ambassador, to fill in for Fury when Nick Fury is overseeing Captain Marvel or other cosmic Avenger-related missions. And this is, let's say more or less, this took place after the first Avengers, so let's say all the way back to 2012, when Nick Fury knew that the Avengers team was assembled, he took his skills to space, left Talos in his place, and supposedly this is why Fury is eating diagonally cut toast in Avengers Age of Ultron when he's at the safe house, with Clint and everybody, and because he told Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel that he despises diagonally cut toast. So, because remember with the Skrulls is that they have to, whatever the most recent event or encounter they have of him, that's all that they know. They don't know background story. They don't know all this other stuff. So, Frank, can you kind of talk a little bit about the Skrulls storyline that could come into play?
yeah, so there's a comic book called Secret Wars, and what Secret Wars is, it's a mosh posh of the Skrull invasion and a lot of the Earth superheroes and villains being replaced by the Skrulls. So in this storyline, the Skrull Kree War. The Skrulls kind of like the Skrulls are known as bad guys in the comic books. That's why it's kind of like confusing me. In the movies, the cinematic universe, how the good guys looking for refuge, but in the comic books, they take over Earth. They replace a lot of the superheroes on Earth, and while the Avengers are out of space, fighting crime out of space. So which leads me to believe with Nick Fury being replaced, and he knows he's being replaced, but Talos and those guys could do a heel turn, and we could see the Skrulls taking over Earth as refuge and basically using that as a base and like eliminating a lot of the superheroes or taking
It's
them away.
like
So
Hydra 2.0.
yeah, so this could be the next big storyline.
Space
And-
Hydra.
Yeah,
Space
and
Hydra.
Yeah.
and also in the comic books, you have a shield. I can't remember what the name of the shield
Sword.
version. Sword. Yeah, you have sword. It's basically the shield version for outer space. So seeing Nick Fury in that post credit scene, that could be the
He's
birth.
inside Sword.
Yeah, it could be the birth of Sword.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but Sword is kind of like prevention.
Yeah. So it's basically like any type of impending threats, and Guardians of the Galaxy could play a part in this too. Any type of impending threats, as far as space threats, they are there to neutralize it. So it's basically shield out of space.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So back to like the storyline of the movie. So Mysterio is on his way. It looks like he's smooth sailing. He's they have these great scenes where he's like in a motion capture suit, and like he has his illusionists and his technology, and he's controlling all this stuff, and it's basically he's directing a movie.
Yep.
It's so funny to watch that. He's directing these like fight scenes with these fake adversaries or whatever.
Nathan would get a kick out of it.
Yeah, he would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Wait, you haven't seen this yet, Nathan? Oh my God!
Gotta see it.
Wow.
Gotta see
We're
it.
just spoiling the movie for
No,
him.
but-
Spoiling it, but
wait.
it's still-
This is our thing. We've spoiled the season premiere of Game of Thrones for him, and then now we're spoiling Spider-Man. So you're welcome.
Spider-Man way better than Game of Thrones. Like,
Oh.
not even close.
By far.
As a whole, or just that one season?
That last season.
That last season.
Yeah.
Okay. Just clarify.
Just a season. No, but so anyway, it seems like he's got this great plan. It's almost foolproof, except for during one of the battles, one of the drones is kind of damaged, and part of it is lost on a street, and MJ finds it.
Yep.
She finds it, and then she brings it to Peter's attention when she also tells Peter that hey, she knows that he's Spider-Man.
Right.
And so then Peter figures out, oh God, like how is he doing this? So they look at the tech and they figure out that it's all an illusion. And so then they go to find Nick Fury.
Right.
And this is when we get the best scene of the movie, I think. The
That was so
illusion
cool.
fight scene
That
is
was crazy.
incredible.
Dope.
Yeah.
It includes, here's just a couple things it includes. It includes Spider-Man being dogpiled by like 30 Spider-Man.
Yep.
It includes Iron Man, a zombie Iron Man rising from the grave to
Ooh,
fight
that's-
Spider-Man.
That was disturbing.
You've got Spider-Man getting hit by a train.
Was that an actual train?
I think that was an actual
That was
train.
he
Yeah.
actually
Yeah,
got hit.
he got.
Yeah, because
hit
they're
by a
fighting
train.
around the tracks.
Because remember, he got
Yeah.
into the train and he was all bloody.
Yeah, he
up
got
and,
hit by a train.
And then he's in the Netherlands.
Yeah, he ends up in
He's
the
like,
Netherlands.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought it was just a bunch of drones that hit him. That was an
No.
actual
No,
train.
he got hit
Oh
by a
my
train.
God.
Yeah.
That was real. Yeah.
Yeah, so he
So he was leading them to the tracks because
Yes.
Mysterio could actually see where he was
Oh,
taking them,
yeah.
and then
Right.
he just put them there and then boom.
Right.
and all Mysterio wants to know is who else knows that you're Spider-Man and who else knows about this tech.
Right.
And he finds out because Mysterio acts like he's Nick Fury. It's very confusing, Nick Fury. There's a lot of Nick Furies in this movie.
Yeah, there are.
And basically, Peter tells him, hey, my friend Ned, he maybe told his girlfriend who he met on the plane, Betty Brant, and
That was so
obviously,
cute.
and MJ. So all the people that possibly know are all his classmates. And so Mysterio's plan is to kill Peter and kill his classmates so that no one knows, so they can get his plan back on track, and he can
Right.
be the lone Avenger who saves the world and
Right.
reaps the benefits and doesn't really care about saving the world, but just wants the attention
Yeah.
and wants the limelight.
Right.
So, but that fight scene,
Incredible.
George-
No, I love the fight scene. It was
Yeah.
one of the best ones I've seen, and it's probably the best one in any Spider-Man,
It's-
honestly.
like
Yeah.
the best visual scene
Yeah.
ever.
It's
It's,
just-
so
it's
it's so crazy. Like
When
just
he's in the Hall of Mirrors and
Yeah.
he touches it,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I loved it. It was one of the best fighting
so
scenes.
well done.
Yeah.
For sure. Peter's very durable to get hit by a train, man, and keep on trucking. That's crazy. I thought it was
No,
just a
he
bunch
got,
of
he got
drones.
hit by a real train.
Golly, that's crazy.
I think when he woke up in the Dutch prison, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like super nice.
It's like, oh, everyone's so nice here. It's like, can I use your phone? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'm currently talking on the phone, but yeah, go
That
ahead
was
and
funny.
use it. It's like, oh my god, everyone's just so nice here. I want to go to the Netherlands
Netherlands.
now. Like, I
And
really
who does he
wanna go.
call to help? He calls Happy
Happy.
Hogan,
Yeah, happy.
who is shacking up with his aunt, which
But then
I don't blame him. That's
I don't
good for John Favreau, good for Happy Hogan.
Oh my god.
But what was he though? Like at the end, like
Well,
when
at
he
the
sits
end they
him
kind
down,
of yeah.
They
It's
had a
like he's
fling.
like, well, it's
Yeah.
the summer fling, right? He's like,
Yeah, he wants it to be more. She's just like, whatever.
you know.
Poor
You know,
Happy,
summer
man.
love, you
Yeah.
know, that's what happens.
But he calls Happy to come save him. Happy comes flying in on a jet, picks him up, and Peter obviously was just hit by a train. He's been in a prison. He's all bloody and a mess.
He's like, how do I know it's you?
yeah, and go ahead and explain that scene.
Well, so because of all these illusions, and basically this is the theme of the movie, is straight up illusions. We have illusions with obviously Mysterio and then Nick Fury and Maria Hill. But with this scene, Happy flies a plane to the Netherlands. They meet in this beautiful like flower area.
Field, yeah.
Field, thank you.
Field of
God,
flowers.
I cannot
Yeah,
spit
yeah,
that out. But Peter's very hesitant about anyone he's encountering at this point, and so he asks Happy, you know, is that you? Of course it's me. Well, how do I know it's really you? You know, tell me something that only Happy would know. And for me, Harry Potter fans out there, this is kind of like, you know, Deathly Hallows when Kingsley and Lupin meet. But anyway, y'all need to get on Harry Potter. I need something. I need to talk to Harry Potter.
Or my
Oh my God. Anyway, so Peter asks Happy to tell him something that you would only know. And Happy calls back to basically first Spider-Man after Civil War, and he's like, well, you know how we were in that hotel in Germany, and you know there was a charge on the bill. It was basically an adult movie. Okay. Like it's you. So that was a cute moment for me, just to see how they are, and Happy gives him that pep talk about what you just said about Iron Man couldn't even be Iron Man. You know, he second guessed everything, and you know you just need to be the best you. By the way, in the very back, there's like this little mini factory where you can like create your
That was
your
so cool.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That was so
super
cool to
suit.
see him actually work and stuff. I was like, man, it's like a young Tony or something, like
Yeah.
just creating everything
Well,
and
in those suits,
configuring a suit.
there's various suits that are in that display.
Right.
And I don't know who's all anyone's played the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game.
Yeah.
But those suits are in that game.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a cool, like, they're trying to tie in everything. They just do everything so well, Marvel does. Like, everything makes sense. Like, whether it be TV, video games, movie, comics, they all make it, like, fit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all
they do.
syncs together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But he gets the suit, so he's making the suit, and Happy's just giving him this pep talk, and they're ready to go. They're going to go get Mysterio. They're going to fight him. Like, he's not going to be tricked this time. And they have a great part where Happy's like, he's like, well, let's go. He's like, I'll take care of the music. So he gets in there. He hits the music, and it's AC/DC, which that's a Tony favorite.
Yeah.
And
Well,
of course,
that's a callback to Iron Man 1. That's how it opened.
Exactly. And of
Yeah.
course, Peter, he's a young kid. He's like, I love Led Zeppelin. You know, like he's.
Not even close.
And I know, like, in the theater, the first time I saw it, it was a kind of older crowd, and they're all just like, oh, come on, kid. Like, how do you, like,
Oh, that was me too. Entirely.
it's like, come on, how do you not,
Which is-
Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, not the same.
Not the same. Which is funny because I like how they wrote it to where he says Led Zeppelin, because in Thor Ragnarok, the immigration song
Yeah,
is
that's
from
it.
Led
That's
Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin,
So
yeah.
we kind of have like these
Yeah.
greats, being referenced. So anyway, tidbits.
So they fly to find Mysterio. Spider-Man has his new suit where he can kind of like, it's a red, but it's instead of being blue, it's like black. It's really cool. It's
Yeah,
a cool
really,
suit.
It's really slick.
He goes, finds Mysterio. They have a great battle. You want to talk about that battle? That's pretty cool too.
So the interesting I thought about that battle is like he knew that everything in front of him was fake, so
Was
he
fake,
had to just like believe, like he knew nothing was gonna happen. Then he had to use this like
His
spider.
His Peter Tingle.
Yeah.
His
Peter Tingle.
I didn't
He
wanna
lost
say
his
it.
Peter Tingle.
It's not Spider Sense anymore. It's now called Peter Tingle,
Oh
according
my
to this movie, which is
And
a
he
hilarious.
That was
really
so-
doesn't
Yeah.
like hearing
I cracked up
that.
every time.
So that's interesting how they introduced the Spidey sense so late in the game. Like,
Yeah.
you know, after all these battles, he didn't know he had the Spidey sense. That's
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he.
I mean, he's still young though. He's
Yeah.
only a
Yeah.
16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Real quick, I was watching Infinity War the other day, and when they're in New York and the kids are on the field trip or whatever, and all you see is Peter's arm, and then you see the hair
The-
stand up,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
y'all know John. He's like, "Oh look, Peter Tingle." I'm like, "Oh my
Oh
god!"
my gosh, that's funny.
It's such a funny line in this movie. They use it
Yeah.
several
They use it.
times,
Yeah.
and you know it's going to be going forward. Like I
Right.
kind of like it better than Spidey Sense. Or
I
Spider-
actually do,
I
too.
really. I mean,
Anyway,
it's,
George,
yeah.
continue talking about
No, that
this
battle
fight,
was,
yeah.
he basically like fought all these thousands of drones and
Yeah.
was able. The greatest scene though was when he was in the hallway with Mysterio and
Yeah.
all the
They're like on a
illusions-
sky bridge.
They're
or
on the
something.
sky
Right,
bridge
yeah.
right.
and just all the illusions and everything. He dodged everything. He knew what was coming. He felt it. He was just so in sync with everything.
Yeah.
And it was just cool to see him do that and actually like he looked so badass. It was
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did.
I like the part right before that where he's on the ground. He like the cars and stuff are being destroyed. He grabs something that sort of looks like he makes it into a shield,
like a makeshift shield.
And then he
it was
like
a sign. It was like a street sign.
It
or
was
something.
street
okay,
sign.
street
like a
sign,
bridge
and then
sign.
he grabs like part of the drone and the wiring and starts spinning like Thor does his
Yeah.
hammer. It's such a cool scene.
Yeah.
And then he gets
It's
there.
like it's a nice nod to both, like
Captain
Thor and
America
then
and
Captain
Thor.
America, because
Yeah.
there's also another Captain America reference, even more pronounced, when at this point the field trip, the kids on this European trip, they're being upgraded constantly, right? They
by
go-
Nick Fury.
by Nick
Yeah.
Fury and company. But anyway, they constantly are getting upgraded. At the very end, they're in London, and the scene that you just described takes place over at Tower Bridge, and everyone else is running to find shelter. Happy goes and finds the rest of the kids. They go into London Tower. What's it called? Tower of London.
Tower of
Sorry,
London.
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
the royal crown is and all that
jewels.
stuff, crown jewels. And it's a vault, right? So these drones are following the kids, and they lock the vault, what have you. But before they do that, Happy goes and gets like one of these armored shields,
Yeah.
and he tries to wield it like Cap does.
He tries to throw it at the thing.
Exactly, and then he just completely. I'm sorry, he just completely fails, and he's like, God, how does Cap do that? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah, the shield goes like 5 feet and
Like,
just
it literally
drops.
and
just
just
falls on the
drops.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to like throw it at a drone.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had one question about the drones. So before they gain the technology or whatever, the glasses, how did they control these drones? Where did they get them from? None of them work for Stark Industries anymore.
But I guess they did when they were in
He
development.
kept it.
No.
Well,
or
no, when
something,
they
or
got
he made his
Edith, they
own?
got control of it.
Yeah.
No, but before Edith, they
Yeah.
they had to use the drones to like in Mexico, or they had to use it somewhere else.
Maybe he had his own.
So they had their
Yeah.
own drones.
Maybe if he or the
That's a good
scientists or
question.
whoever created it, they probably created enough to just make whatever they needed to make for the
Yeah.
elementals, and then once they got control of Edith, then they could do things at a more
Higher
grandiose
scale?
scale. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Maybe. I don't know.
That makes sense.
But so we go back to the battle scene on the sky bridge, and so Spider-Man has defeated Mysterio. He's like, "You're not going to trick me this time." This is where it's confusing to me. Mysterio appears to die.
Right.
Do y'all think he's dead?
You think he's dead?
Yeah, I think he's dead. I think he knew right when he was about to die. That's when he recorded the message.
Okay.
When he first got
Yeah.
stabbed or whatever, or
Yeah.
shot or whatever, that's when he started as a last minute ditch to.
Because
to
he
the
says they'll
Spider-Man.
see what I want them
Yeah.
to see.
So I think that's when he knew. Okay, I'm about to die. Let me
Yeah.
do this last grand
Yeah.
payback to Peter Parker.
Right.
I don't think he's dead.
I don't think so either.
I think he's dead.
I don't think so.
And
Like, he's such a master of illusions. Like seriously, he could have
Yeah.
played. You saw how they were acting everything out. He could have planned that a long time ago.
Right. No, it's
And-
quite
That's
possible.
fair.
He's such a great character. I hope he's not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he's the third best villain in the MCU behind Thanos and
Killmonger.
Killmonger. I think those are the best three. I think Vulture from Homecoming is right up there also.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like,
Well, we can pose that question to our
Yeah.
you know,
Do you think
audience.
Mysterio's dead?
Yeah.
Like,
So-
let us know in the comments because I really don't
Comments.
think he is.
We'll probably put a poll question too.
Yeah,
by the way.
we'll do
So
that.
yeah.
yeah,
But
I don't think he.
I have
is.
one more thing. So there were so many drones, right? Like he got the video footage from one of the drones.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Peter has control of the drones again. Does he not have the original footage? Can he not go get it?
No, but I think that was before Peter took over Edith.
Mm-hmm.
I think the drone that recorded Beck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was right before Peter Parker got Edith back.
I think so too. I'm with you on that. I really am.
Or he had like other drones that were doing like the drones that he used before he got Edith. They were using those maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, that could explain that. I
I just
guess.
feel like there was thousands of drones. He could have did none of them captured
Yeah.
anything? Like it could have been like something to prove that he's innocent, that he didn't do it.
Right.
I don't know. We'll find
Well,
out.
he destroyed all the drones, didn't he?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I
no,
did
remember
think
they
that-
just sent him back once
Oh,
he
that's
got
right, that's
control.
right, that's
They just sent him back
That's
to the.
But Peter, once he takes control of Edith again, whenever I saw this the first time, I was like, this sounds weird because he goes, what do you want to do with the drones? He says, execute them all. And the way he says it, I'm like, that's a weird thing for a hero to say. And of course, Mysterio takes that audio and makes it sound like he means executing everyone in London, which because it's a London attack, and it's played off as like Mysterio's trying to stop Spider-Man from attacking everybody
Right.
with these drones.
Yeah.
So I thought that was weird at the time when he said, execute them all.
Yeah.
But so as Mysterio is dying, or maybe he does die, he records this message that is in the mid-credit scene, which is, I think it's an amazing mid-credit scene. The scene, so it's after the movie's over. Spider-Man is back with, he's with MJ there. She knows she's Spider-Man. They're swinging through New York City.
She hates it.
She hates it. They stop, and he's like, okay, well, I got to go do something else or whatever. He jumps up. He looks on the Madison Square Garden. He's at Madison Square Garden in New York City, and he sees on the Jumbotron there, they have like a breaking news report. And it's not that Kevin Durant had signed with the Knicks, because he signed with the Nets. How did you not get Kevin Durant, Knicks? I mean, come on. Anyway, back to the movie. So there's a breaking news report on the Jumbotron, and it's
Alex Jones. No, I'm
no,
kidding.
it's J. Jonah Jameson, the same J. Jonah Jameson from
The
the Tobey
original.
Maguire Spider-Man movies,
J.K. Simmons.
played by J.K. Simmons. He has a special report about the greatest hero ever, Mysterio, and how he was failed by this menace Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not only that, but Spider-Man, his true identity is revealed as Quentin Beck lays on the ground as he's dying and says, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And then, of course, Peter's like, oh my God, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Then it cuts and you're just like, what's next for Spider-Man?
Yeah.
And this is crazy. And now everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great mid-credit scene. I think it's one of the best mid-credit, one of the like best post-credit scenes MCU has ever done.
Yeah.
I think
It's one thing when you're Iron Man, when you're a grown, mature, well-known guy. Your father was this great scientist,
Billionaire playboy.
Yeah, like you play up to that name of being a billionaire playboy philanthropist.
Yeah.
It's nothing when you're a 16-year-old kid just trying to live a private life.
Exactly.
You take your friendly neighborhood, and all of a sudden your identity's out there now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very crazy to see what's next for Peter Parker.
it is.
So in this, like, I know Spider-Man has always played like a photographer, done stuff. I guess they changed it completely now, and he never worked for.
He'll never
Daily
work for Daily
Bugle?
Bugle.
Never,
No.
never gonna
Yeah,
happen.
I don't
No,
think so.
not in this incarnation. I
I
don't
don't
think.
think so. I mean, why would anybody want to work for a newspaper anyway? That's the question I would pose to anyone. So guys, final thoughts on
Just the boy's
Spider-Man.
origin story coming up next.
There's gonna be a photo gallery. Hey, so what's y'all's final thoughts on the movie, Frank?
It's at all 22 movies now. 22 movies.
Well, don't rank them. Don't rank them. We're about to do
gonna
that
rank 'em right now.
separately.
Just
Just-
say, what did you
it's-
think?
What
Good
do you
or
think?
not?
Final thoughts on this movie?
It's my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time.
Okay.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay.
Yeah. Brittany, what do you think?
Y'all already know I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, but this was good. This was good. I won't like say. I don't think I feel the same way that you feel, Justin, because I know you feel very strongly about this movie.
Love it. I love the movie.
That's great. I'm not there, but I did enjoy the movie.
Okay.
I like the movie. I don't know. I could go tie for tie with Homecoming for me because it's. I think they're pretty close.
They're both good.
If
good.
one's better than the other, it's not by much. So they're both good. I like
They're
them.
both very good. I think it's the best live-action Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, the animated
That's
movie.
the greatest Spider-Man.
I
movie.
think it's still the
That's
best.
the greatest Spider-Man movie of all
That's
time.
It's
best
the
Spider-Man.
best.
Yeah.
I
think-
haven't seen it.
That's the best one.
I'll just go ahead and give you my Spider-Man rankings. I'm going to go Spider-Verse.
Yep.
I say Spider-Man Far From Home is second. Homecoming is third. Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire is fourth. Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire is fifth. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield 2 is the next one. Amazing Spider-Man 1 with Andrew Garfield is the next one. And the final Spider-Man, the worst Spider-Man, is Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire.
I love
that.
I love-
Really?
I love that one,
Yeah.
man. When he's dancing like a
wow.
when he gets
Yeah,
the
it's-
Venom suit or whatever.
It's not. There's a lot
That was
of
hilarious.
villains. A
I
lot
love
of
that
it's
movie.
messy. But now we got to get to the big part of the show. I think Brittany, you said it well earlier. With great power comes great responsibility, and I think it's our responsibility.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! What is he
Where did you
doing?
get this? That's so awesome.
It's our responsibility to add Spider-Man to our MCU.
I need to
Phase 3
leave
rankings.
right now.
Okay, so here we go. It's kind of hard to see, but it feels kind of cool though. I like it. Does it look good?
No, it looks good.
Looks good,
Looks
okay.
really good.
Cool, yeah. So anyway, Spider-Man Far From Home in Phase 3. Oh, come on. This is better than the normal phase. Who thinks it's better than Captain Marvel?
Me.
Oh yeah.
Way better.
Way better.
Who thinks it's better than Doctor Strange?
Better.
Yeah.
Sadly, yes.
Guardians 2.
Oh, hands down.
Yes.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes.
Yes.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Tie for me.
Yes for me.
Yes for me.
Okay.
Tie.
Who thinks it's better than Black Panther?
Nope.
No.
There's not even a point in going further because
No, that's
it's not
it.
better than Civil War. It's
So-
not
Oh,
better
God,
than
no,
Ragnarok.
no.
It's not better than Infinity War. It's not better than Endgame.
Right.
To me, I think it's the third best movie of Phase 3.
Wow.
So it passes Ragnarok for you, and
It does.
Civil
It
War?
does.
Wow.
It does. But
That
I-
says a lot.
I think as a group, here's our new. This is a final ranking for Phase 3.
Okay.
Number 1, Avengers Endgame. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
Number 3, Thor Ragnarok. Number 4, Captain America Civil War. Number 5, Black Panther. Number 6, Spider-Man Far From Home. Number 7, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 8, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 10, Doctor
I
Strange.
still don't agree with that.
And number 11, Captain Marvel.
Or Crafton Marvel, as
Crafton
George
Marvel.
liked to call it.
I can live with this
So-
list.
Yeah, I can live with it too.
So tell us what y'all think about our list. If you agree with the rankings, if you tell us what you think about Spider-Man. And Brittany, how can they do that?
They can do that by following us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Do you like my voice right there?
Yeah.
No,
Would you like to sing again?
no, I would not. You have to pay me. But yeah, follow us on The Watchers in the Basement on Facebook and Twitter. No, Twitter is Watch Basement. However, you get the idea. Also follow us on SoundCloud. Be sure to share our podcast, on all platforms. Get others involved. We are doing t-shirt giveaways. If you guys are sharing our stuff and commenting and participating, we really love to hear what y'all have to say. And we do very much appreciate everyone who already has. We do have some new fans who are getting t-shirts. They're on their way. You're welcome. And yeah, last thing I do want to talk about though, because you mentioned Thor Ragnarok, I'm a little surprised that this movie actually, is one notch above that. There's going to be a Thor 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
News came out yesterday. There's another Thor movie. Taika Waititi.
Yeah,
He
Waititi.
directed the Ragnarok. He's doing the fourth one. So.
And Chris Hemsworth is hopefully expected to come back.
Yep. And this is a Comic-Con at San Diego Comic-Con is this week. So a lot of news is going to come
My
out.
question is Thor going to be Fat Thor?
I don't think so.
I think by that time he'll be better
Yeah.
in shape.
I think he'll spin off after the Guardians movie.
Okay.
And then we'll get the new Thor
So
movie.
so he will be in the Guardians movie. you
I think so.
I would
That's
think
just
so.
my guess. Yeah.
I mean, he's
Why else
leaving-
would he leave
Yeah,
with them?
why would he leave with them? That's gonna be
Yeah.
awkward. At least for a little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Of course.
That's gonna be so.
He'll be on their journey, and then he'll spin off into his own story. Yeah.
Sorry, we were having a moment. Of course. Of course.
Well, I mean, whenever I brought the Spider-Man mask, you can't top that. You know what I mean?
Killed me.
So,
Oh my God.
anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We hope to be back soon with actually, we don't know what we're gonna do. We could do anything. Like,
You tell us what you want us to do next.
we're looking for
No
stuff to talk
pressure.
about.
No pressure.
There's some big movies coming out later in the year.
Yeah.
But right now we're kind of at a loss for what to discuss.
We might take a little break. We just
But,
might take a little break. Some of us are going on vacation.
Yep.
Season finale.
So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you very soon. Thanks.
I love Led Zeppelin.